How to think in English in 30 days. Stop translating forever. You have been learning English for years, maybe 5 years, maybe 10, maybe your whole life. But every time you want to speak, something stops you. Your brain freezes. You know the words. You know the grammar. You have studied so much, but when the moment comes to speak, you cannot. Why? Because you are doing one thing wrong, one small thing. And today, I will show you exactly what it is and how to fix it forever. By the end of this video, your brain will start to change. You will begin to think in English, naturally, easily, without translating. Are you ready? Let's begin. The problem every English learner has. Hello, my friend. Welcome. Before we begin, I want you to relax. Take a deep breath. Listen to my voice. Slowly, calmly. Don't try to translate every word. Just listen. Just understand. Let the English flow into your mind, like water flowing into a glass. If you do not understand a word, don't worry. Keep listening. The meaning will come. This is the first lesson, and it is the most important one. You don't have to understand every word to understand the meaning. Read that again in your mind. You don't have to understand every word to understand the meaning. Native English speakers don't understand every word they hear. Sometimes they hear words they don't know, but they still understand the meaning because they listen to the whole sentence. They feel the message. They don't stop and translate. This is what we will train your brain to do today. Now, let me tell you something honest. If you are watching this video, you probably have a problem, a very common problem, a problem that millions of English learners have. The problem is this. When you want to speak English, you first think in your own language. Then you translate your thoughts into English. Then you try to speak. But by the time you finish translating, the moment is gone. The conversation has moved on. Or you say the words too slowly, or you say them wrong, or you say nothing at all because you feel ashamed. This is called translation thinking. And translation thinking is the reason most people never become fluent in English. Not because they are not smart, not because they are not trying, but because they are using their brain in the wrong way. In this video, I will teach you how to use your brain in the right way. I will teach you how to think in English directly, without translating, so when you want to speak, the English words come out naturally, like your first language. This is possible for everyone, including you, even if you are a beginner, even if you have been struggling for years, even if you believe you are bad at languages. You are not bad at languages. You have just never been taught the right method. Today, I will teach you the right method. But first, I want you to understand something important. This will take time. It will not happen in one day, not in 1 week, maybe not even in 1 month. But if you follow what I teach you in this video, if you practice the methods I share, your brain will start to change, slowly at first, then faster, until one day you will be having a conversation in English and you will suddenly realize, wait, I am not translating, I am just speaking. That moment will come, I promise you. But you must trust the process. You must be patient with yourself. You must keep practicing, even when it feels difficult. Now, are you ready to learn? Good. Let's begin with Lesson 1. Lesson 1. To stop translating, you must first understand why you translate. When you were a child, you learned your first language. You did not study grammar. You did not memorize vocabulary lists. You did not translate words. You simply listened. For years, thousands of hours of listening, before you could even speak. You heard your mother say the word apple while pointing at an apple. You did not translate apple into anything. You did not need to. The word apple and the object apple became connected directly in your brain. This is called direct association. Word, object, connected, instantly. There was no translation. There was no middle step. The word apple meant the red round fruit. That was it. This is how children learn, and this is why children learn so fast. But when you learned English, something different happened. You opened a textbook, you saw the word apple, and next to it you saw the translation in your own language. So in your brain, you did not connect apple to the object. You connected apple to the word in your language, which is then connected to the object. So now, when you want to say apple in English, your brain does this. It sees the object, an apple. It thinks of the word in your own language. Then it translates that word into apple. Then it tells your mouth to say apple. 3 steps, slow, tiring, inefficient. Native speakers do only 1 step, object, apple, done. This is the difference, and this is what we must change. I want you to understand something very deeply right now. Translation is not a small problem. Translation is the big problem. It is the reason you speak slowly. It is the reason you forget words. It is the reason you feel tired when you speak English. It is the reason conversations feel hard. Every time you translate, your brain works double, triple. It uses much more energy and it makes much more mistakes. When you think directly in English, no translation, your brain works easily. Words flow. Sentences form naturally. Speaking feels almost effortless. This is the goal. This is what we will train. Now, you may ask, but how do I stop translating? My brain does it automatically. I cannot control it. Yes, you can, and I will show you how. But first, let me tell you something that may shock you. You already think in English sometimes, and you don't even know it. Have you ever watched a movie in English, and after a few minutes you stopped reading the subtitles? Just for a moment? You were following the story directly in English? That was thinking in English. Have you ever sung along to an English song without thinking about the meaning, just enjoying the words? That was thinking in English. Have you ever said thank you or sorry or oh my God without translating? That was thinking in English. You see, your brain is already capable of this. It already does it, but only for small things, short phrases, familiar words. Our goal is to expand this, to make more and more of your English thinking direct, until eventually all of it is direct. This is the journey, and it is a beautiful journey. Now, let me give you the first method to start training your brain. Method 1, stop using a translation dictionary. When you don't know a word in English, what do? Most people open a translation app. They type the English word, they see the meaning in their own language, they feel they understand. But here's the problem. Every time you do this, you reinforce the translation pathway in your brain. You make it stronger. You make it more automatic. You make it harder to stop. Instead, do this. When you don't know a word, look it up in an English to English dictionary. Read the definition, in English, even if it is hard, even if you don't understand every word. For example, if you don't know the word beautiful, instead of seeing the translation in your language, you would read, beautiful means very pleasing to look at, lovely, attractive. Now your brain connects beautiful to other English words, to English concepts, not to your own language. This is direct association. This is how native speakers' brains work. At first, this will feel very difficult. You will want to translate. You will feel uncomfortable, but push through. After 2 weeks, your brain will start to adapt. After 1 month, you will prefer it. After 3 months, translation dictionaries will feel slow and unnecessary. This is one of the most powerful changes you can make. Start today. Method 2, name things in English, all day. This is a small exercise, but it works very well. As you go through your day, silently name things in English, in your mind. You wake up, you see your bed. Say in your mind, bed. You see your pillow, pillow. You walk to the bathroom, bathroom. You see the mirror, mirror. Your toothbrush, toothbrush.
Water, towel, door, window, chair, table, cup, spoon. As you do this, do not translate, just see the object. Say the English word in your mind. Move on. Object, word, direct connection. Do this all day, every day for 1 month. You will be amazed at how much it changes your thinking. Your brain will start to associate English words with the world around you, not with your language, not with translation, directly with reality. This is how children learn. This is how you can learn too. Method 3, describe what you see. In simple English, this is the next level. Look around you, pick something, anything, and describe it in English, out loud or in your mind. For example, look at a chair and describe it. This is a chair. It is brown. It is made of wood. It has 4 legs. It is for sitting. I sit on this chair when I eat. It is in my kitchen. You used simple words. You used short sentences. You described what you saw. This trains your brain to form English sentences in real time,
not to translate from your language, to create English directly. Do this every day. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Describe anything. The street, the sky, your food, your room, a person, a memory, a feeling. Use simple words. Don't try to be perfect. Don't try to use big vocabulary. Just describe. Slowly, your brain will get faster. The sentences will come more easily. The words will flow. This is how thinking in English starts. Let me pause here for a moment. If you are listening to this and you feel a little overwhelmed, that is okay. You don't have to do everything at once. Pick one method. Start with that one. Do it for 1 week. Then add another. Then another. Small steps. Every day. That is how transformation happens. Not in one big jump. In many small steps. Lesson 2. The power of listening. The secret most learners ignore. Lesson 2. I'm going to tell you something that may surprise you. If you want to speak English fluently, the most important skill is not speaking. It is listening. Yes, listening. Most English learners spend all their time studying grammar, memorizing vocabulary, doing exercises, speaking with broken sentences, but they don't listen enough, and that is why they don't become fluent. Let me explain why listening is so powerful. When you listen to English, real English, spoken by native speakers, your brain is doing something amazing. It is absorbing patterns. It is learning rhythm. It is feeling how the language flows. It is connecting words to meanings, to emotions, to situations. This is happening even when you don't notice it, even when you don't understand every word. This is called subconscious learning, and subconscious learning is much more powerful than conscious studying. Babies don't study grammar. They listen. For 2 whole years before they speak. They absorb thousands of hours of language, and then one day they start speaking, naturally. Adults can do this too, but adults try to learn the wrong way. They try to study. They try to analyze. They try to translate. They try to control. If you want to be fluent, you must stop controlling. You must let the language into your brain. You must listen. A lot. Every day. How much should you listen? I will give you a number, and it will sound like a lot, but it is true. At least 1 hour every day. 1 hour of listening to English. Every day. For the next 6 months. That is the minimum. If you can do 2 hours, even better. 3 hours, even better. I know you are busy. I know you have a job, a family, responsibilities. You don't have time to sit and study for hours, but you don't need to sit and study. You can listen while doing other things. Listen while you cook. Listen while you drive. Listen while you walk. Listen while you clean. Listen while you exercise. Listen while you fall asleep. You can get 1 hour a day easily if you make it a priority. But here's the important question. What should you listen to? This is where many learners make a mistake. They listen to English that is too difficult, movies with fast speech and slang, news with complicated topics, podcasts with advanced vocabulary. Then they get frustrated. They feel stupid. They quit. Do not do
this. The rule is simple. Listen to English that is just slightly above your level. Not too easy, not too hard. If you understand 80 to 90% of what you hear, that is perfect. Your brain can follow the meaning, and you can learn the new 10 to 20% naturally, from context. If you understand only 30%, it is too hard. Find easier material. If you understand 100%, it is too easy. Find slightly harder material. This sweet spot, 80 to 90% understanding, is where the most learning happens. What kinds of content should you listen to? Let me give you a list, from easiest to hardest. Level 1. Children's stories and cartoons. I know, you are an adult. It feels embarrassing, but children's content is gold for language learners. The vocabulary is simple, the speech is clear, the stories are easy to follow, the visuals help with understanding. Disney movies, Pixar movies, children's audiobooks, they are perfect for beginners and intermediate learners. Don't feel ashamed. The best language learners in the world use children's content. It works. Level 2. Slow English podcasts. There are many podcasts made specifically for English learners. The hosts speak slowly, clearly. They use simple words. They explain things. Search for English Learning Podcast, or Slow English, or Easy English. You will find many free options. This video itself is one of those. I am speaking slowly, clearly, for you, so your brain can absorb the English. Level 3. Conversations between native speakers. Once you are more comfortable, start listening to conversations. 2 or 3 native speakers talking naturally. These are harder. Native speakers talk faster. They use slang. They interrupt each other. But this is real English. This is what you will hear in real life. Look for podcasts about topics you find interesting, not just for English learning. Topics like cooking, travel, business, history, technology, whatever you love. When you love the topic, you listen with more attention,
and you learn faster. Level 4, TV shows and movies, without subtitles if possible, or with English subtitles. Never with subtitles in your own language. That will make you read instead of listen. Start with shows where people speak clearly, then move to faster, more difficult shows. Level 5, news, lectures, audiobooks for native speakers. This is advanced. You can move here when your listening is strong. Now, here is the most important rule of all. You must listen actively. What does that mean? It means you don't just hear the sound. You pay attention. You try to understand the meaning. You notice new words. You feel the rhythm of the sentences. You don't have to translate. You don't have to write down every new word. You don't have to stop and study. Just listen. With attention, with curiosity, with openness. Your brain will do the rest. I want to give you one more tip, a small but powerful one. Listen to the same content multiple times. The first time you listen to something, you understand maybe 50%. The second time, maybe 70%. The third time, maybe 85%. The fourth time, almost everything. Each time, your brain catches new things, new words, new phrases, new ways of saying things. This is much better than listening to many new things only one time each. Quality over quantity, depth over breadth. Find content you love, listen to it again and again and again. Your brain will absorb it deeply, permanently, forever. This is how fluency is built, not in big jumps, in many small, repeated exposures. Now, let me tell you a story. There was a man from a small village. He had never learned English in school. He had never traveled outside his country. But one day he decided he wanted to speak English. He had no money for classes, no teacher, no textbook. What he did have was a radio. And on that radio, he could pick up an English language station from a faraway country. So he listened, every day, for hours, while he worked, while he ate, while he fell asleep. He didn't understand most of it at first, but he kept listening. After 6 months, he understood about half. After 1 year, he understood most of it. After 2 years, he could speak, slowly at first, then faster, then naturally. He never took a single English class. He never opened a textbook. He just listened. That is the power of listening.
Calm. A man with no resources, no teacher, and no textbook can become fluent through listening alone. You can too. So please, take this seriously. Make listening your priority. 1 hour a day, every day, for 6 months. That is your assignment. If you do this, and only if you do this, everything else I teach you in this video will work twice as fast. Listening is the foundation. Without it, nothing else will fully work. Lesson 3. Build your inner English voice. Lesson 3. This is one of the most powerful things you can do to start thinking in English. I want you to build something called an inner English voice. What is an inner voice? It is the voice in your head, the voice that talks to you all day long, the voice that says, I am hungry, I should buy milk, I forgot to call my friend, why did I say that? I will do it tomorrow. This voice is talking to you right now in your own language, all day, every day, from the moment you wake up to the moment you sleep. It is the most active voice in your life, and right now it is speaking your native language, so your brain is in your native language all day. Imagine if you could change that voice. Imagine if your inner voice started speaking English. Not all at once, just sometimes, a little bit, then more, then more. Eventually, half your inner thoughts would be in English, then most, then almost all. Your brain would be living in English, not just studying it, not just visiting it, living in it. That is when fluency really happens. Now, how do you change your inner voice? You do it on purpose, with practice. Here is the method. Step 1. Choose a small part of your day. Don't try to change your inner voice for the whole day. That is too much. You will fail. Start small. Choose 10 minutes. Maybe the time when you are getting dressed in the morning, or making coffee, or walking somewhere. For those 10 minutes, decide, my inner voice will speak English. Step 2. Narrate what you are doing, in English, in your mind. For example, in the morning, I am waking up, I am tired, I want to sleep more, but I have to get up. I am putting my feet on the floor is cold. I am walking to the bathroom. I am turning on the light. I am looking in the mirror. My hair is messy. I need to brush it. Simple, slow, in English. You are training your brain to produce English, not to translate, to produce directly. Step 3. Comment on your feelings, in English. I am happy today. I feel a little nervous about work. I am excited to see my friend. I am hungry. I am tired. I love this weather. Express your feelings internally, in English, even when no one is listening, especially when no one is listening. Step 4.
Plan your day in English. Today I need to go to the store, then I will have lunch, then I will work for 3 hours, then I will exercise, then I will eat dinner with my family, then I will relax. Make your plans in English, internally, quietly, in your head. Here is what will happen. At first, this will feel strange. Your brain will resist. It will keep slipping back to your native language. You will forget to think in English. You will have to remind yourself, that is okay. Every time you remember, just gently start again. After 1 week, it will feel a little easier. After 1 month, it will feel more natural. After 3 months, you will catch yourself thinking in English without trying. That is the moment everything changes. Let me give you a more advanced exercise for when you are ready. The English diary. Every night before you sleep, write 3 or 4 sentences in English about your day. Not for grammar practice, not to be perfect, just to think in English about your real life with your real thoughts. Today was a hard day. I felt tired in the morning, but the afternoon was better. I had a good conversation with my mother. I'm grateful for that. Simple sentences, real thoughts, your real life. This connects English to your life, not to a textbook, not to imaginary characters and lessons, to you.
When English is connected to your real life, it becomes part of you. It stops being a foreign language. It starts being your language, a second language, but yours. This is when fluency stops being a dream and starts being your reality. Now, I want to address something important. You may be wondering, but what if I make grammar mistakes when I think in English? What if my inner English is wrong? This is the most important thing I will say in this lesson. It does not matter. Your inner voice is for you. It is private. No one will hear it. No one will judge it. No one will correct it. The purpose of the inner voice is not to be grammatically perfect. The purpose is to train your brain to operate in English. Even if your grammar is wrong, the training is happening. Even if your vocabulary is limited, the training is happening. Even if your inner English sentences are short and simple, the training is happening. Native speakers' inner voices are also messy, also broken, also full of small mistakes. That is how thinking works. Do not aim for perfection. Aim for frequency. The more often you think in English, even badly, even wrongly, the faster your brain will adapt. Quantity over quality, at least in the beginning. The quality will come naturally with time, through listening and exposure. For now, just think in English as much as you can, as often as you can. This is the foundation of fluency. There is a beautiful thing that happens to people who do this practice consistently. One day, they have a dream, and the dream is in English. When you have your first dream in English, even just a short one, even just one sentence, that is a sign that English has entered your subconscious mind, that your brain has accepted English as part of who you are. When that happens, you will know, and you will smile, because you will realize, I am becoming bilingual. My brain is changing. The work is paying off. This moment is coming for you. Maybe in 3 months, maybe in 6, maybe in 1 year, but it is coming if you do the work. Keep going, keep thinking, keep building your inner English voice, word by word, thought by thought, day by day. You are becoming someone new, someone who can think in 2 worlds, 2 languages, 2 ways of seeing reality. This is one of the most beautiful gifts you can give yourself. Keep going. Lesson 4. Speak to yourself, the 30-day method. Lesson 4. Now we move from thinking to speaking, but not speaking to other people, not yet. First, speaking to yourself. This is one of the most powerful methods in the world for becoming fluent, and almost no one teaches it. It is called self-talk practice. Here is the truth about speaking English. The reason most learners cannot speak well is not because they don't know enough English. It is because their mouth is not used to making English sounds. Their lips, tongue, jaw, these are muscles, and like all muscles, they need practice to work well. When you speak your native language, your mouth has had thousands of hours of practice. The movements are automatic, effortless, smooth. When you try to speak English, your mouth has had very little practice. The movements feel awkward, slow, difficult. You sound foreign, not just because of your accent, but because your mouth muscles are not trained. This is why you can read English perfectly, understand English perfectly, but still speak English with difficulty. Your brain knows, but your mouth is not trained. Speaking to yourself is how you train your mouth. Here is the method, the 30-day method. For the next 30 days, you will speak to yourself in English for 15 minutes every day, out loud. In your room, in your car, in the bathroom, anywhere you can be alone. Just talk in English, out loud. About what? About anything. Your day, your thoughts, your plans, a movie you watched, a problem you have, a memory, a dream, a worry, a hope. It does not matter what you say. It only matters that you say it. Some people feel embarrassed to do this. They feel silly talking to themselves out loud. Get over this now. Every fluent English speaker in the world, every successful language learner has done this. They have all talked to themselves. They have all felt silly at first. They all got over it. If you are too embarrassed to talk to yourself in private, you will never be brave enough to talk to others in public. Practice in private now, so you can perform in public later. Let me give you exact things to do during your 15 minutes. Activity 1. Tell yourself a story. Talk about something that happened to you today. Tell the story in as much detail as you can. Today I went to the store. The store was busy. There were many people. I was looking for milk, but the milk was not in its usual place. I had to ask the worker. He told me the milk had been moved. I went to the new place. I picked up the milk. I went to pay. The line was long. I waited for 10 minutes. Then I paid and left. Simple, real, detailed. This is conversation practice. Even though you are alone, your mouth is making the movements. Your brain is producing sentences. You are training the muscles of fluency. Activity 2. Pretend you are explaining something to a friend. Pick a topic, anything, and pretend to teach it to an imaginary friend. Let me explain to you how to make tea. First, you boil water. While the water is boiling, you take a cup and put a tea bag inside. When the water is hot, you pour it into the cup. Then you wait for 2 minutes. The tea will become brown. Then you can add sugar if you like, or milk, or both, and then you can drink it. Teaching is one of the best ways to practice English because teaching forces you to be clear, to explain things in order, to use real, useful language. Activity 3. Have an imaginary conversation. Pretend you are talking to someone famous, a celebrity, a historical figure, your favorite singer. Ask them questions. Answer their questions in your mind, then respond. Hello, it is so nice to meet you. I have been a fan of your music for many years. Can I ask you something? When you write songs, where do your ideas come from? Do you sit down to write or do they just come to you? This is fun, it is creative, and it is excellent practice for real conversations. Activity 4. Talk about your opinions. Pick a topic, any topic, and give your opinion out loud in English. I think social media is both good and bad. It is good because it helps us stay in touch with people who are far away, but it is bad because it takes up too much of our time. People look at their phones too much. They don't talk to the people in front of them. I think we should use social media less, maybe 1 hour a day, not more. Expressing opinions in English is one of the hardest skills, but it is essential because real conversations are not just about facts. They are about what you think, what you feel, what you believe. Practice this every day. Now, here is the most important rule of self-talk practice. Do not stop, even if you make mistakes. When you talk to yourself, you will make mistakes. Wrong grammar, wrong words, awkward sentences. That is okay. Do not stop to correct yourself. Do not start over. Do not get frustrated. Just keep talking. The goal is not perfection. The goal is flow. The goal is to train your mouth and brain to produce English continuously, without stopping, without thinking, without translating. The mistakes will fix themselves over time through listening and exposure. For now, just keep talking, even if it is messy, even if it is wrong, even if you don't like how it sounds. Keep going for 15 minutes every day. In 30 days, you will be a different speaker. I promise. Let me share one more tip. If you can, record yourself. Use your phone, talk for 5 minutes, record it, then listen back. I know, this is uncomfortable. Everyone hates the sound of their own voice, especially in a second language. But listening to yourself is a powerful learning tool. You will hear things you don't notice while speaking. You will hear words you stumble on, phrases you use too often, mistakes you make repeatedly. You will also hear things you do well, sentences that
flow nicely, words you pronounce clearly, improvements over time. Record yourself once a week and keep the recordings. After 3 months, listen to your first recording, then your last one. You will be amazed at the difference. And that proof, that hard, real proof of your progress, will motivate you more than anything else. Self-talk is private practice, but it is the foundation of public fluency. Athletes train alone before they perform in front of crowds. Musicians practice alone before they play concerts. Speakers rehearse alone before they give speeches. You must do the same with English. Practice alone every day with dedication. Then, when you finally speak to other people, your mouth will be ready, your brain will be ready, the words will come, you will be fluent, because you did the invisible work that no one saw. Lesson 5. Build a vocabulary that actually helps you speak. Lesson 5. Let's talk about vocabulary. Most English learners have a huge problem with vocabulary, and it is not the problem you think. The problem is not that they don't know enough words. The problem is that they know the wrong words. Let me explain. If you have been learning English for some years, you probably know thousands of words. You can read a newspaper. You can understand most things you hear. But when you try to speak, you cannot find the right words. Why? Because the words you learned are passive words, not active words. Passive words are words you can recognize when you see or hear them, but you cannot use them when you want to speak. Active words are words you can use easily and naturally when you want to express yourself. Most learners have huge passive vocabulary, but small active vocabulary. They understand a lot, but they cannot use a lot. Today, we will change that. Here is the first thing you need to understand. You do not need to know 20,000 words to be fluent in English. You do not even need to know 10,000. You need to know about 2,000 words. Well, that's it, 2,000 words. Studies have shown that the 2,000 most common English words make up about 80% of everyday spoken English. If you know those 2,000 words, and you can use them actively, you can have any conversation about almost anything. You don't need fancy words. You don't need academic vocabulary. You don't need to sound impressive. You need to sound clear, and clarity comes from knowing simple words very well. Native speakers use simple words most of the time. Watch any movie, listen to any conversation. The vocabulary is mostly simple. Get, go, take, make, do, have, say, tell, come, see, look, think, know, want, like, love, need, try, work, help, find, give, use, feel, become. These small simple verbs are used constantly by native speakers. If you can use these small verbs in many different ways, you will sound natural, you will sound fluent, you will be understood. But most learners ignore these simple words. They think they already know them. They want to learn better vocabulary, bigger words, impressive words. This is a mistake, because while you are memorizing big words you will rarely use, you are not mastering the simple words you need. Let me give you an example. The word get is one of the most useful words in English. It has many, many meanings. Watch. I will get some food equals buy or obtain. I get it equals I understand. I got a new job equals received. It is getting cold equals becoming. Can you get that book equals bring. I get up at 7 a.m. equals rise from bed. We need to get going equals leave or start. You get to choose equals you have the opportunity to. The dog got out equals escaped. I will get back to you equals reply later. One simple word, get, has all these meanings, and native speakers use them all the time. Most learners only know one meaning of get. They are missing the other 9. If you really master the word get, all its meanings, all its uses, you will speak English much more naturally, much more fluently. The same is true for all the simple words, take, make, do, go, come, and many more. Master simple words first, then move to complex words. This is the opposite of what most learners do, and that is why most
Learners are slow to become fluent. Now, let me teach you how to learn vocabulary the right way. Most people learn vocabulary like this. They make a list, English word on one side, translation on the other side. They try to memorize the list. This is the worst way to learn vocabulary. Why? Because you are connecting English words to your native language, not to meaning, not to images, not to feelings, not to situations. The words go into your short-term memory. They feel learned, but within days you forget most of them, and the ones you remember you cannot use in real conversation because they are connected to translation, not to use. There is a better way. When you learn a new word, do not write the translation. Do this instead. Write a full sentence in English using the word. Make the sentence personal. Make it about your life. For example, you learn the word exhausted. Instead of writing exhausted equals very tired, write, after working all day, I came home and felt completely exhausted. Now your brain has connected the word to a real situation, a real feeling, your own life, other English words around it. This is how memory works, through context, through connection. The word exhausted will stick in your brain much better, and when you want to use it later, your brain will remember the sentence and the word will come naturally. Here is another powerful method. Learn words in groups, not alone. When you learn happy, also learn glad, pleased, joyful, cheerful, delighted. When you learn sad, also learn unhappy, down, disappointed, miserable, heartbroken. When you learn one word, your brain can hold only that one word. When you learn 5 related words together, your brain creates a network. The words support each other. They strengthen each other in your memory. You will remember groups of words much longer than single words. And in conversation, you will have more variety. You won't sound boring or repetitive. You will sound natural. One more thing about vocabulary. Learn phrases, not just words. English uses many fixed phrases, combinations of words that go together. For example, take a break, make a decision, have a conversation, get in touch, pay attention, take care, make sense, have a good time, get along with, look forward to. These are not just random word combinations. They are like single units of meaning. Native speakers use them automatically, without thinking. When you learn English phrases, not just words, you sound much more natural, much more fluent, much more like a native speaker. So whenever you learn a new word, ask yourself, what other words usually go with this one? Learn it as a phrase, as a unit, not as a single isolated word. This will transform your speaking. Now let me give you a simple vocabulary plan. For the next 30 days, learn 5 new words per day, with sentences, personal sentences. That is all, just 5. In 30 days, you will have learned 150 new words. In 90 days, 450 words. In 1 year, almost 2,000 words. That is enough to be fluent, but you must do it the right way, with sentences, with context, with personal meaning. Not lists, not translations, not memorization tricks. Real words, used in real ways, about your real life. This is how vocabulary actually becomes part of you, forever. Lesson 6. Overcome the fear of speaking. Lesson 6. We have to talk about something important, something that stops millions of English learners from ever becoming fluent, the fear of speaking. You know this feeling. You see someone, you want to speak English with them. You have practiced, you have studied, you know the words, but when the moment comes, your heart starts beating fast, your face gets hot, your mind goes blank, you say nothing. Or you say something simple when you wanted to say something more, or you nod and smile, pretending to understand when actually you missed half the conversation. Later, you feel terrible. You think, why am I like this? I know English. Why can't I speak? This is the fear of speaking, and almost every English learner has it. You are not alone. But here is the truth. If you do not overcome this fear, all your studying is wasted. All your listening, all your vocabulary, all your grammar, all your reading. If you cannot speak, if you cannot actually use English with real people, then
English will always be a hobby, never a real skill. Speaking is the test. Speaking is where everything either becomes real or stays trapped inside your head forever. So today, we will face the fear, and I will give you the tools to defeat it. First, let's understand what the fear actually is. The fear of speaking English is really 3 fears combined. Fear 1, fear of making mistakes. You worry that you will say something wrong, use bad grammar, mispronounce a word, use the wrong word. You imagine people laughing at you, correcting you, thinking you are stupid. Fear 2, fear of judgment. You worry about what people will think of you. You worry that your accent sounds bad, that you sound foreign, that you sound less intelligent in English than you do in your native language. Fear 3, fear of being misunderstood. You worry that you will say something and people will not understand you, or they will misunderstand you, and you will feel embarrassed. These 3 fears combine. They paralyze you. They keep you silent. Now I will tell you the truth about each fear. Fear 1, mistakes. You will make mistakes, many of them, for years. This is normal. This is necessary. This is part of learning. Children make thousands of mistakes when they learn their first language. They say wrong words, wrong grammar, wrong sounds. No one cares. No one laughs. They keep talking. They keep learning. Eventually, they become fluent. You must allow yourself to do the same. The biggest difference between people who become fluent and people who don't is this. Fluent people are okay with making mistakes. They keep speaking. They learn from each mistake. They keep going. Non-fluent people are afraid of mistakes, so they don't speak, so they don't improve, so they never become fluent. The fear of mistakes is what creates the lack of fluency, not the mistakes themselves. You must change your relationship with mistakes. Mistakes are not failures. Mistakes are progress. Every mistake means you tried. Every mistake means you learned something. Every mistake brings you one step closer to fluency. Welcome mistakes, embrace them, celebrate them. This sounds strange, but it is the secret. Fear 2, judgment. Here is what I want you to know. Most native English speakers do not judge people who are learning English. In fact, they respect them, because they know that speaking a second language is hard. Most native English speakers can only speak one language. They are impressed by anyone who can speak two. Yes, you have an accent. So what? Everyone has an accent. Even native speakers have accents. They just have native accents. Your accent is part of you. It is part of your story. It says, I learned another language. I worked hard. I built this skill. That is not shameful. That is beautiful. Stop trying to sound like a native speaker. You will never be a native speaker, and that is okay. Your goal is not to sound American or British. Your goal is to be understood and to understand. If people can understand you, you are successful. That is the standard, nothing more. Fear 3, being misunderstood. If someone doesn't understand you, what happens? They ask you to repeat, or they ask, sorry, what? Or they look confused. That is all. The world does not end. You do not die. You are not destroyed. You simply try again. Maybe slower, maybe with different words, maybe with hand gestures. This is what real communication is. It is messy. It is full of misunderstandings, even between native speakers. Stop expecting perfect communication. Communication is supposed to have moments of confusion. That is normal. When you are misunderstood, just try again. No big deal. Now let me give you practical methods to overcome the fear. Method 1. Start with low-pressure situations. Don't try to have your first English conversation with your dream client, or with a stranger you find attractive, or with your boss. Start small. Order coffee in English, if you live in an English-speaking country. Ask someone for directions. Say a simple greeting. Make a small comment about the weather. These are short, easy, low pressure. Even if you make a mistake, the situation is over in seconds. Build your confidence with small wins, then move to bigger situations. Method 2. Find a language exchange partner, online. There are many apps and websites for this. You find someone who speaks English and wants to learn
Your language. You help each other. You speak in English for 30 minutes. They speak in your language for 30 minutes. This is perfect because the other person is also learning. They also make mistakes. They also feel nervous. You support each other. No judgment, no pressure, just practice. Method 3. Talk to AI or to yourself in front of a mirror. There are now many AI tools that you can speak to in English. They will respond. They will not judge you. They will never get tired or annoyed. This is wonderful practice. Use it. Or, simpler, talk to yourself in a mirror. Pretend you are having a conversation. Ask yourself questions. Answer them. This builds confidence. It trains your mouth. It prepares you for real conversations. Method 4. Use the 3 seconds rule. When you want to say something but you feel afraid, give yourself only 3 seconds. Count. 1, 2, 3. Then speak. Do not let your brain talk you out of it. Do not let the fear win. 3 seconds, then go. This is a simple trick, but it works. Because the longer you wait, the more powerful the fear becomes. Cut the fear off before it can stop you. Here is the most important thing I will tell you in this entire video. Fluency is not a level of English. Fluency is a level of confidence. There are people who know less English than you do, but they speak fluently because they are confident. They don't care about mistakes. They just talk. There are people who know more English than you do, but they cannot speak because they are afraid. They are stuck in their head. English skill is half knowledge, half courage. You may already have enough knowledge to be fluent. What you need is courage, and courage is built one small action at a time. Speak 1 English sentence today, just 1. Tomorrow, speak 2. The day after, speak 3. Slowly the fear will shrink, and your confidence will grow. This is the path. There is no other path. There is no magic shortcut. You must speak. You must be brave. You must be willing to be imperfect. This is what separates the fluent from the forever studying. Your 30-day action plan. My friend, we have come to the end of this video. You have listened for 2 hours, and just by doing that, just by listening, you have already started training your brain to think in English. If you understood most of what I said, that is a sign that you are closer to fluency than you think. If you understood only some of it, that is also okay. You can listen again, and each time you will understand more. This video is your friend. Save it. Come back to it. Now, before you go, I want to give you a clear plan. A simple 30-day plan that will start to change your English forever. Write this down or save this section and follow it. Week 1. Listening focus. Listen to English for 1 hour every day. Choose content slightly above your level. Listen actively, with attention. If you don't understand a word, don't stop. Keep listening. Keep going. Just 1 hour every day for 7 days.
Week 2, add inner voice. Continue listening for 1 hour every day. Now also, for 10 minutes every day, narrate your life in English, in your mind. What you are doing, what you are seeing, what you are feeling. Simple sentences, real life, internal. Week 3, add self-talk. Continue listening and inner voice. Now also, for 15 minutes every day, speak to yourself in English, out loud. Tell stories, express opinions, have imaginary conversations. Don't stop for mistakes, just keep talking. Week 4, add vocabulary and real conversation. Continue all the above. Now also, learn 5 new words per day with personal sentences. And have at least 1 real conversation in English per week, even a short one, with anyone, in any situation. If you do this for 30 days, really do it, every day, without skipping, your English will start to change. You will think in English more. You will speak with more confidence. You will understand more. You will feel less afraid. This is not magic. This is just consistent practice in the right direction. After 30 days, continue. Make these habits part of your life. Listen every day. Think
In English every day. Speak every day. Learn new words every day. Have real conversations every week. If you keep doing this every day, every week, every month, within 1 year, you will be fluent. I cannot promise you many things in life, but this I can promise. If you do the work, consistently, patiently, daily, fluency will come. Not because you are special, because this is how language works. Anyone who does these things becomes fluent. Anyone who does not, never does. The choice is yours. I want to end with something personal. I know how hard it is to learn English. I know how many years you have struggled. I know how many times you have felt like giving up. I know how it feels to see other people speaking fluently and to wonder, why can't I do that? You can do it. You are not behind. You are not too old. You are not bad at languages. You have simply not been taught the right way. Today, you have been taught the right way. Now you must do the work. It will not be easy. It will not be fast. There will be days when you feel stuck, days when you feel like quitting, days when you wonder if you are improving at all. Push through those days, because on the other side of those days is freedom. The freedom to express yourself in English, the freedom to make friends from around the world, the freedom to get better jobs, the freedom to travel and feel confident, the freedom to understand movies, books, music, and ideas from English-speaking cultures, the freedom to be a global citizen. This freedom is waiting for you. It is closer than you think. So please, take what I have given you today and use it. Don't just watch this video and feel inspired for 1 day, then go back to your old habits. Actually do the work. Start tomorrow, or better, start today. Listen, think, speak, learn, practice every day. Even a little, even when you don't feel like it, especially when you don't feel like it, because that is when growth happens. Thank you for listening to me today. Thank you for trusting me with your time. I believe in you. I believe you can do this. I believe that one day you will be sitting somewhere, having a fluent conversation in English, and you will remember this video, and you will smile, because you will know this is where it started. The day you decided to stop translating and start thinking in English like a native without fear. That day is today. Go and begin. I will see you next time. And remember, if this video helped you, listen to it again. Listening multiple times is one of the most powerful ways to improve. So save this video, come back to it. Let my voice become a regular part of your English learning journey. I am here with you on this journey. Goodbye, my friend, and good luck. You can do this.